and welcome. Episode 11.
11!
Christmas movie Mayhem.
Last one of the year.
This is the last podcast of the year. So we're celebrating. Look at this. We got our Christmas cocktails.
Yep.
Salud.
Getting lit. I don't know what I'm drinking.
You got some stuff with some sprinkles in there.
It's aggressive. It's
aggressive. Mine's good. You've made this for me a couple times over the past few days.
Yeah, I actually got this from a company called Justice of the Pies. It's a small women-owned business.
Love that name.
Right? And she hops on a Zoom, taught us all how to make a delicious pie. Should have cut the pie too.
That pie was good, actually.
Pie was so bomb. We were the first one to try it.
Either.
Me either. I always say pie is trash. Sorry, Justice of the Pies, but this pie is amazing.
No, you crushed it.
And I wish I could just have it every day.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying the cocktail. Maybe we'll have some pie after this.
Maybe.
But yeah, we're celebrating.
We are. Who thought we would get to 11?
So we're a little delayed. This is not coming out normally when it would. Try to just push it a little closer to Christmas because we're going to take a little week off.
A little holiday break.
Yeah, and then we'll come back in January strong again with the horror.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe. We don't know. We might have something special in store.
We might. That week off is like a creative period, right?
Is,
like
yeah.
It was kind of where the podcast came from, was like
Yeah.
a quiet moment where you were bored because
Yeah.
your work was super slow. And you're like, I need to do something.
Yeah, not only that, my work had just started becoming almost routine for me. Like I just got in a groove where it was like, here's a project, Mark, that's supposed to take you a week and it takes me 2 days. And it's just like, I needed to do something creative and not for a client. So,
so this podcast was born. You're welcome, everyone.
Yeah. So we wrapped up on the head-to-head. You beat me. You didn't crush me this time, but you beat me.
I did beat you. And I'm very proud of it. But
I kind of figured you would.
I still think it was a great top 8 list. The head-to-head was full of very classic songs, and the feedback we got on the polls and in the surveys was that some of y'all really felt those were your favorites across both lists.
Okay.
Some of my own friends betrayed me voting for you.
Well,
Rude.
they're voting with their heart. What is everybody? This is not a popularity contest, okay? I'm glad that people are just genuinely choosing which one they like.
That's what
more.
I'm saying. They betrayed me and they really went with their vote.
I mean, it was tough because, I looked at it after and I was like, there's a way to do these head-to-heads that are a little more strategic where I can, because I know you very well, obviously, and you know me. I kind of know what you will pick and what you won't and vice versa. So me going Blue Christmas so early, I went with it so early because it is my favorite Christmas song.
Yeah, it means a lot. Like the same way that I came out guns blazing, I knew you weren't going to pick that song either. It's not your favorite. You recognize it's good, but it's like you're not turning that on for Christmas.
No, I like that song.
I know, but again, it's not your favorite. I know it wouldn't have been your first pick.
I don't know. I think that Christmas special kind of converted me. I like her versions.
All right. Yeah. I know, because they're classic and timeless.
No, it's good.
And perfect.
Yeah.
It made you love Sleigh Ride again.
Yes, no, I love Sleigh Ride. That killed it. That Sleigh Ride was amazing.
I'm just so happy about that statement.
The next thing is too, anything that comes to like voting on music stuff, nobody's ever.
We don't give awards for art.
Yeah, but nobody's ever gonna pick what I would pick. Like I don't listen to pop music really at all. I don't like or really know anything that people listen to.
But Christmas songs are different.
I mean, literally, there's
Everyone
people that pop
them.
up on TV, and I'm like, I'm old now. I'm like, who is that person?
Yeah, I know.
And you have to sort of tell me, she has like a new song that's crazy right now or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, she just, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Good times.
So we did post one of the trailers. Well, this is actually the second trailer we posted for one of our Halloween parties past.
Yeah, we couldn't let y'all go without any posts from us.
Yeah.
All this time.
So we posted the Krampus Christmas party teaser trailer.
Yeah, so for those who have been listening since episode 1, you've definitely heard at some point that we throw Mark and Dee's Halloween extravaganza, which we may need to rebrand as Me Dark's extravaganza.
Sure.
But that has been a little baby of ours for like almost 10 years.
Yeah.
It started out as a really small party and turned into a much bigger monster where we now have themes and we align costumes and
movie
characters
trailers that go with it.
And then we kept expanding on it and making it more unique. And so the video we posted is of the night before Krampus.
Yeah.
That is the name of the
that
theme
Krampus
that year.
costume was very uncomfortable. The prosthetic, we didn't apply it correctly. The whole pasting the beard to the face was a mistake.
I mean, listen, I'm not a professional.
It looked good, though. I liked the way it looked. It was uncomfortable to wear.
Yeah, and then my character was Frau Perksta. For those who aren't familiar, she is the female version of Krampus. If you look her up, she's incredibly terrifying. If you say bad things, she scrapes your tongue with glass. If you're a glutton, if you will, or a bratty child, or what is the word I'm thinking of here? Those children get their stomachs slit open and filled with trash.
That's the worst, I think, is the trash and, instead like just gutting you open and then filling the insides with trash.
But at least, at the same time, if you're a good kid, she leaves you a shiny silver coin.
Yeah, what a trade-off. Like... Here, I'm going to scrape your tongue with glass and fill your insides with garbage, or you get a coin.
I mean, the best part of this
Although
is
I guess the real trade-off is you get your life.
Yes,
she's
you don't
killing
die.
You otherwise.
She's like, here you go, take this and be glad that I didn't slit your stomach open, you little shithead child. So this tree was a big part of that, right? And we had the presents under the tree and we had the whole theme. So it's a really cool party that we throw. And if y'all are interested about hearing more, check our post because I'm going to share some more details on it.
All right, cool. I saw a article about this new movie Ryan Reynolds, our boy Ryan Reynolds, is producing. It's called Stoned Alone.
I'm already intrigued.
It's sort of like a play off of the original Home Alone, except this time it's a grown man. He's in his house or his apartment or whatever. He gets high and he misses his flight to some, he's going on vacation with his friends to some holiday ski resort or whatever. He misses his flight.
Sounds like it's coming off of Just Friends.
Like, yeah, exactly. So he's like, whatever, I missed my flight. I'm home alone for Christmas. I might as well just get really high. And that's basically what he does. And then thieves try to break into his house, a la Home Alone and the Wet Bandits. Amazing concept, I think. It's not clear if Ryan Reynolds is actually going to star in the film or he's just producing it as his creative baby. What I found off-putting, though, in the article is our boy Chris Columbus.
Ugh, so rude.
He trashed it.
Yeah.
He was calling it an insult to the art of cinema, as if Home Alone is some high art cinema.
Yeah, like this. We're not talking award, winning, not that we give awards for art again, Oscar award winning films here. Okay?
No,
like
why can't shit just be fun and entertaining?
Why can't it just be what it is? Like, no one's knocking Home Alone. No one's saying like, oh, if we make Stoned Alone a parody, like, did Wes Craven cry when they made Scary Movie? No.
First of all, there's some real garbage out there, right? I have all the confidence in the world that Ryan Reynolds is going to do this thing correctly and it's going to be funny and entertaining.
Right, like
why does Chris Columbus feel like he has to come out and be like, no, fuck this guy. It's an insult to my high piece of cinema, Home Alone. Like, come on.
No, like, get over yourself. Okay, Ryan Reynolds made that Match.com commercial that's incredible, right? He's a producer on that with the devil guy.
That was a great spot.
Yeah.
A great spot where
the 2020
matches with the devil.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's great.
So, again, or then he took the Peloton girl during the controversy of the Peloton commercial with the husband getting her wife the bike and put her into the commercial for, I think it was some alcohol. So he has a knack for taking these things and making puns out of them and spinning them in ways that are enjoyable. So, like, let the man do what he does.
Yeah.
Christopher Columbus.
Christopher Columbus. It's kind of like when I think it was Scorsese who was, it kind of hurt me because he was he is one of my favorite directors of all time. He came out like trashing the Marvel movies, like calling them like theme park rides or something. Yeah. And like, again, it was like the whole thing.
It's just not
like
your
the
wheelhouse.
Sticking their nose up at like, this is not cinema. It's like, fuck you.
It
like,
is 100%.
What constitutes cinema in your eyes?
Yeah.
Like, because it doesn't belong to a specific genre and we're not all serious about everything all the time. It's not high art.
It's drama. It's funny. It's heartwarming. It's family oriented. It's action. It's adventure.
Yeah, use your imagination, bro.
Right. Like,
get out of...
Stay in your lane then, Scorsese. I mean, we love you, but like, come on.
I would love to see what a Marvel movie directed by Scorsese would
look
like.
Right. Like, that's the thing.
I'm sure there's some character... Like, if you took like The Punisher and you gave him to Scorsese, I wonder what he would do with that. You know?
Yes, but that's the thing
Or
is like you gotta be.
Tarantino, like you give Tarantino one of like the like.
I'm
the
surprised
quirky
Tarantino
characters.
hasn't tried to dip his hands in.
I know he likes them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's probably they just haven't found the right character for it
Yeah.
yet. But also Tarantino is
Oh, I'd love for us to
the
do
magic
a
of Tarantino though is like I would totally do a Tarantino.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
walkthrough.
It's like that'd be
But
so.
the magic of him though is like it's his screenwriting and his dialogue and his storytelling. So it's like if you don't let Tarantino be completely free,
Yeah.
you better off just not even using him. Then.
100%.
Let him do whatever the fuck he wants, and then
Yeah.
I'd like to see that Marvel movie. All right, so let's kick it off because we got 4 movies. To
I know
get
we
through.
gotta like speed round.
Some of these are like all-time bangers, obviously,
Yeah,
but we're gonna start off with one that's not an all-time banger,
but it's good.
but it's fun and it's light and it's Christmas.
It does its job
and it's Jingle All the Way from 1996. This one's directed
with
by
Arnold.
with Arnold, of course. This one is directed by. I love your impressions.
They're so bad, they're good.
Yeah, they make me laugh. It serves a purpose.
That's right.
This is directed by Brian Levant. He did Beethoven, The Flintstones.
Beethoven. See, like these are all the like. Every time we talk about these movies, I then get excited for other movies that I'm like, now I want to go watch them.
It's you know what I'm terrible. Like I never really paid too much attention to who directs what unless it's like somebody that I'm just watching the movie because I
Yeah.
know like I'll go to see it anything Tarantino does or anything Scorsese does I'll watch specifically because they're directing.
They're in the credits.
So many other directors like I just ignore them like
But there's such great
I don't
people
pay
out
attention.
there.
But then when you go back and you look at like oh what else did he do?
Yeah. All right.
So he did those like kind of they're like family oriented like family like Are We There Yet like that kind of stuff.
Are we there yet? It's like if I had to watch something with kids, I'd watch it
Yeah.
again. But Beethoven, I'm here for.
Yeah.
Beethoven second.
We
when he had
watched that
little
movie
puppies.
quite a bit growing up. We had a St. Bernard, so that was like a big thing.
I
in our
know. I
house.
missed that era of your life. I'm so sad.
Yeah, I mean, he was a sweetheart. He would just slobber everywhere and ruin the house. But they're high maintenance dogs, but they're great.
Yeah,
dogs.
your mom was a nut job. 4 kids and a St. Bernard. She was clearly taking
Absolutely
crazy
insane.
pills.
Just a chaotic household.
And like, didn't you have like a cat? You had 2 cats.
2 cat. Well, this is probably why I live the lifestyle that I live now, in just like this big, empty, quiet house with no children, small little dogs who are low
3
maintenance.
of them though. You do have 3 of them. You
Yeah,
carry
but they're
that.
very low maintenance.
They are. They're the best.
So yeah, this one's starring Arnold, of course. He plays Howard, and he is a mattress salesman who is always busy. First of all,
So busy.
think about like what a time. Like this is a job. You're a mattress. Not that there's not mattress salesmen now, but like it's like a dying thing because you have all these mattress companies that like purely exist online. And
I'm gonna disagree, but yeah,
what do you mean?
mattress company is a big sales industry. Like we talk about it a lot at work, and
It's baffling to me.
it's baffling. I know,
Because
but
literally,
it really is.
I bought a mattress. I didn't speak to anybody. I went online. I did research on Google. I looked at customer reviews and ratings. I went to the site that was in the price range, and I bought them. I
But
didn't talk to anybody.
You're an anomaly who likes that. Like you like to shop that way, but some people like to be in person and ask questions and feel it and touch it and see it. You're like, nah, roll the dice.
You're my number one
Oh, you got a
customer.
90 day. Number one
You're
customer.
my number one customer.
I hate that so much. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it's a sales industry, and especially during the holidays is a prime time that people get mattresses. So
Well, yeah, he's freaking swamped. He's totally
Yeah, but,
neglected
like-
his wife and his kid.
And the thing is like though, it's not that he's swamped because he's doing a great job. Like if he has to constantly be every phone call he gets in the beginning is someone who is mad and he's trying to fix it, which means that
Yeah,
he's
so
not
he's
doing it
horrible
right.
at his job.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
actually horrible.
So he forgets to buy the Turbo Man, right? I love this toy, the Turbo Man. This is a great concept.
It's like a bootleg ass Iron Man.
Yeah. Well, I relate to this heavily because this is what I wanted at Christmas. This was back when kids like wanted physical toys and action figures and stuff like that. I feel like in today's world, it's like if you're not buying like $150 Lego set or some electronic equipment for like a 5-year-old, like this is what they get now for Christmas. Like I have to spend hundreds of dollars on electronics for
Yeah,
like
it's like we used to have
nieces
mountains.
and nephews and cousins, and it's like what? Like this is what it was. Literally like a $5 Ninja Turtle toy would make me happy for hours.
Yeah, we used to get like mountains of gifts because it was so much cheaper to
Oh,
buy
yeah.
toys. Like our families, I remember my family mapping out the toy store and saying to themselves like, all right, you're going to hit this aisle and you're going to hit this aisle because you had to go be on time, get in there first, get the hot toys, and get out, right?
Yeah.
Like, it had to be a whole plan. And now you just have a million ways to do that instead. So the magic of that is gone. The toys are more expensive. So you're like, you're going to get 5 things, not 50, bitch. So I don't know what to tell you.
I love how he tries to go like on Christmas Eve. He's like,
and that's what I mean. It's like, you had to do this shit in November.
Yeah, no, he's just like, he's totally oblivious to any of this Christmas stuff. Like, it's almost like he's never experienced Christmas before. And the fact that there's like hot selling toys that you can't wait to the last minute. And he's outside like the toy store. And it's not just him.
No,
like, there's a line to get into the toy store.
Those were the people who didn't get it on Black Friday. And they're like, shit, I got to keep trying.
Well, no, it's just him and Sinbad, Myron. They're the only 2 idiots.
Oh, for that toy.
Who think that they're waiting online to get a Turbo Man. Everybody else like laughs at them in the store. Like, are you serious, bro? Like, Turbo Man sold out like 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
But what I love about Sinbad's character, Myron, when we first get introduced to him, he drops the hardest truth bombs about Christmas. It like blew my mind because I feel like I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what Myron was saying was just going over my head, and I was just like, this guy's a Grinch.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't like Christmas.
That's like the adult part of the movie that's for the parents to listen to, while the kid is like, where's the Turbo Man?
Hilarious watching these movies now from like the adult perspective and hearing him wax poetic about how advertising agencies just pour millions of dollars into commercials and print and advertising to just brainwash your children into wanting these toys and needing these toys, right? And if you don't get your child the toy, you're a bad parent, right?
And it's awful. And not only that, but then when you think of it in the 2020 world where the toys aren't cheap anymore and people are like, oh, well, I didn't get this for my kid, XYZ. Then they go to school and then their friends get it. And it's like the kid thinks of it as like, oh, Santa didn't get me that though. Like I must have not been a good kid. And that's awful. And this is where, like, again, growing up, I feel like I had an edge up because we didn't have all of our toys from Santa. That wasn't the story. The story was like Santa left you a few things, but everything else came from mom and it cost money. Like, you know, like you knew that these things were like bought in a store. That. And so if we did have toys from Santa, they were things that like could have been made in the toy shop, right?
That's
like,
great.
You woke up and all the gifts were wrapped and you had like the kitchen was built and it was sitting there, or the doll in the stroller, or the teddy bear like sitting unwrapped. And it's like, oh, Santa did come. But then the other gifts are from my parents.
Right. So then that way you don't feel like, oh, Santa doesn't love you or he neglected you from getting the big toy. It's just Santa only makes certain toys.
Yeah.
Right?
And the toy shop toys.
And these are the ones that, you know, you asked for that he built for you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's how you should all do that for your children
and
make them not feel alienated.
I remember one year specifically calling my mom to the side after I had opened all my presents, right? Because we do the big New Year's Eve. With my aunts and uncles, Christmas Eve with my aunts and uncles and grandparents, and I would get all my presents there from family members. Then Christmas Day, it was Santa, right? Everything was Santa. And then I remember pulling her to the side and saying, Mom, what did you get me? You didn't get me anything for Christmas.
You were a little shitbag kid that Frau Perchta was going to rip your stomach open and fill it with trash because you were greedy. That's what I was saying. Greedy. I was trying to think of the word.
No, I mean, I like the concept. I like the concept that you're talking about there.
It's a good way to go.
But yeah, I mean, fucking Myron with the truth bombs, man. I was like, you know what? It's kind of weird, but I'm on his side in this whole thing.
Yes, like, fuck this.
How bad of an actor is Arnold Schwarzenegger?
It's so bad. And again, it was part of me being like, is it the accent difference? Like, are the inflections different? Because he never really Americanized. You know, like he never really
he just got away with using his accent all the time.
Yeah, it was like people found it charming and like, oh, it's Arnold, you know, like, but really bad. Really. Like nothing he does in this movie is believable.
No. And it kind of got me to thinking, like, has Arnold ever like taken on like a serious, like in-depth acting role? And I'm like, no, he hasn't. And it's weird because there are so many action stars in the same vein as him who have reached the same heights as him.
Terminator?
Like Bruce Willis and Sylvester Stallone, like these guys who are mega action stars have taken on some meaty, like deep acting roles.
Wasn't he? He was in True Lies with Jamie Lee Curtis.
It's all fluffy action garbage. Yeah. Like it's not.
I'm trying to think. It's not Die Hard. It's not Lethal Weapon.
No, but those aren't really meaty roles either.
People will tell you that they are.
I guess.
People will argue with you.
I'm thinking more along
You're
the lines
talking
like,
about Mel
like
Gibson.
Bruce Willis
and shit.
did like The Sixth Sense. I mean, Bruce
Right.
Willis has done a ton of shit. I'm not even going to think about naming all this stuff. But Pulp Fiction, he's amazing in Pulp Fiction. Like Bruce Willis has quite a range as an actor.
So does Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson too. Yeah, he's
11.
another one. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Nothing.
You've done nothing but just like these garbage popcorn action movies.
I mean, he got paid and then he became the governor of California. What do you want?
Amazing. I mean, I still, there's something about Arnold that is so like American pop culture, which is weird
really
because
is.
he's not American.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What do we think of Phil Hartman in this movie? He plays Ted,
Oh my God.
the guy trying to sneak in on his family. Yeah, R.I.P.
Huge creep.
Yep.
Immediate. Like the vibes were there from the moment he is introduced. And I'm just saying, like, I would have punched him very early on. She waited a while to really do that.
She gets the eggnog all over him in the car.
Yeah. That was like 4
too
instances
long.
too late. I don't know. Yeah. I would have been like, listen, dude, I know what you're fucking doing and it's not going to be a thing. So just back the fuck up.
I love how Arnold tries to steal the Turbo Man from his house from his son Johnny.
But like,
But he has a
recklessly.
fucking, like, Ted has a reindeer in his yard. And, like, the reindeer attacks Arnold.
it just
and,
hates
like,
Arnold from the beginning.
Yeah, it's... Again,
It's not even chained up. The thing can just go wherever it wants.
I love it. I love that this dude just randomly has a reindeer in his yard.
To
and,
make up for the lack of love and care and affection in his child's life.
oh, is that what you're going...
That's what it is. He's like,
He's trying
set
to
it up
buy
that
his-
his wife is gone. He's single dad. That's why he's all up on the ladies at school. And they're all like, ooh.
He's all up on everybody's mom
Yes.
and wife. Yeah.
Yes.
He's
he just
that
wants
guy
to be
in
that
the
guy.
neighborhood.
Yeah, that's why he
Imagine,
would have
like-
got punched. I would have been a nut punch right
But
then and there.
Is this still a thing? It's certainly not a thing for us where like your neighbors just like come over to your house and they're just like, you come home and your neighbor's in your house, like helping your wife bake cookies or whatever. Like, is this a thing?
Would you imagine? Could you imagine if the guy next door was here when you got home and I'm like, hey, we're just making cookies together?
I don't even know what the guy next door's name is.
I know.
Yeah.
But that's also, we talk about this, like the community thing is
It's
not
maybe
a thing.
generational thing.
Yeah, like we don't have that sense of community anymore like it used to be. Or maybe it's just us.
probably
I don't
pros
know.
and cons to it.
Yeah, I don't want these people in my business.
You know what it is? I think you get more acquainted with people like that when you have kids and their kids,
I
play
guess
together
like when we
and
grew
stuff
up,
like
we were
that.
close with our neighbors next door. But
'Cause
I
you
look
would play
back
with
and
the
it's
kids.
like no one should have let me play with those girls because they were fucking degenerates, and I knew it. And I was like, I don't really want to go there. And they're like, nah, just go. I'm like, nah, like they're a problem. I even remember her name. I wonder what she's doing now.
Well,
Probably
hopefully
in jail.
she's alive, well, and happy. That's the way I look at it.
I mean, probably not.
Best scene in this movie, though, is because there's numerous ways in which he tries to acquire a Turbo Man. That's the whole movie, is him just trying to acquire a Turbo Man on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
Everything is super last minute. But the best one is when he gets conned by the mall Santas.
Yeah.
And they have
best.
This all culminates into like a boss battle with the Big Show dressed as
The
a
Big
Santa.
Show just in Santa pants and suspenders.
Yes, I love it. I love
And a
it's-
hat. He has the hat.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And then Vern Troyer, Mini Me, makes a slight appearance here. He comes out of nowhere. He
Also
he gets
R.I.P..
kicked across the room.
Yep.
Yeah, also R.I.P. That's right.
Yeah. Crazy. It makes me feel old as shit.
Yeah, no, that scene is
That
amazing.
scene is the best. And then just the fact that like there's hundreds of them.
I know.
Hundreds.
Like, what kind of operation is this? This is some
How
underground
many stores
operation.
have Santas and elves in them in this area?
Yeah, exactly. I
Because
mean,
that's what it is.
they fill a warehouse with these Santas.
Yeah, they all work. That's what you're supposed to assume, right? Is that like they hear people in line trying to see Santa, like, whoa, you looking for this? You looking for this? I got something for you.
You know what, though? Now that I think about it, is who is hiring Vern Troyer
As an
as
elf.
a mall Santa?
No, he was an elf.
Oh, he was an elf.
I'm pretty sure he was an elf.
I thought he was in a Santa
I mean,
costume too.
Look at the guy. There's the other guy who's famous. I don't even know his name. That's so bad.
He's
the
an
one that
elf
actually
with
grabs him.
James Belushi is like the
Yeah.
main Santa, and
The
then
main one. And then he has
the other
elf-
guy is from that movie Bad Santa too.
Yes.
The other, what is it? A little person? I can't keep up.
We
with
are.
what
We
you're
love
supposed to
everybody.
say.
We love everybody, and we may not be PC, but we love everybody.
Yeah. That's right. He is an elf, so maybe Vern Troyer was an elf.
I think he was an elf. We'll have to look.
None of them are good mall Santas. None of them look like they're good mall
No,
Santas.
they're
What is
as
it
good
about?
as
Like, this happens a lot in movies where the mall Santa is the worst mall
because
Santa.
when we were growing up, the mall Santas were terrible. They were like
Really? I remember
big,
them being pretty
fat,
convincing.
drunk white guys with shitty beards. And now you get these real old, they actually upgraded.
They have a real beard.
They have real beards. There's people who are like career Santas. So back to my would you rathers of
stop
mall
it with
Santa
that.
or North Pole. There's people out there who make a choice and choose mall
Well,
Santa.
because they don't have the choice to be the real
know.
Santa.
I know that. But they still make a choice
They
to
made
be a
mall Santa choice because that was the last
These
choice.
are like all the grandpas of the world who just maybe don't have their grandkids around, and it's a nice moment for them. Be nice to your grandparents and make sure you bring
Oh my God.
your kids around them.
You're really going with the holiday warm feelings.
I am.
in
I'm
this.
feeling very warm and
All
fuzzy.
right. The other thing that stuck out to me with this movie, and I laughed out loud, was the bomb scene
Oh my God.
where
When they're trying to
fucking-
get away.
no, they go to
From
they
the
go to the
radio
radio station because he tries to win a Turbo Man at the radio station. They get the security called on them, and the cops show up, and it's a big like Mexican standoff, and Myron has the package that he's like, it's a bomb. Like, I'm a disgruntled postal worker and I have a bomb. Unbeknownst to him, he actually has a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So the main cop like struts up to it. He's like, I've been in the bomb squad.
He's like
for,
laughing in the elevator, and then all of a
5
sudden he hears it
years.
goes
Like,
off.
yeah, the bomb goes off, but it's like, what the hell bomb is this that you can hold in your hand, and all that happens to you is you just get covered in black soot and your hair stands up.
I believe the scientific term for that is the Looney Tunes bomb.
Yes, it's the Wile E. Coyote bomb.
I was going to go more like the Daffy Duck one because I feel like Wile E. Coyote kind of gets like destroyed most times, but either way.
I just remember like him getting the soot in his face.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that.
It's definitely
The Acme, right?
Yeah, it's an Acme Looney Tunes bomb. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Now, I'm not certain, but I think Chris Columbus is maybe a producer on this movie. This motherfucker wants to wax poetic about high art. You have some guy with a Wile E. Coyote bomb or a Daffy Duck bomb or whatever the hell you want to call it. Like
Sniffing
that's
and shaking
that's
the
high
box.
art. That's high cinema.
Yep.
God, these people piss me off.
Yep.
The pretentious, like holier than thou.
Your
Maybe
stance is really coming through.
Maybe he's not a producer on this. I feel like I remember seeing his name on something.
I'm
that
pretty
we
sure it
watched.
was this one,
It
and
might
we were
have been
like,
this
"Oh,
one.
there he is again!"
There he is again. He's like a Christmas movie Hall of
Yeah,
Famer.
this is
for
all
sure.
he does. He's like, "This is my life, my blood, my work."
Great ending to this one. He becomes Turbo Man in the costume.
Yes.
Doesn't realize he's Turbo Man until he.
Neither does his family.
Oh my God! How?
It doesn't make any sense. The voice
All he
changer,
has is a helmet on with a clear visor, and the voice changer mic doesn't work.
like, I really believe like that moment where what's the character's name?
Booster.
Booster. But he like tells him like, "Oh, you're just talking to there, and your voice." He says it right, like that your voice will be different.
Well,
or
the
whatever.
producer of the show tells him that.
Oh, is it that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, useless, stupid,
Completely useless.
and like I legit feel that they threw that in there just because they knew like this isn't really changing his voice at all, so like it's not going to be believable.
But how hard
that
is
no
it
one
to
knows?
just do a voice change?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, in Scream, all they had was this little shitty box, and you had no idea who was talking.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't come up with a better voice change. Like, you legit know it's him. Like, how many people with that accent live in that
Jamie.
town?
Jamie, get down.
Yeah. Who else in the town sounds like that?
Nobody.
Second,
Who in the world sounds like that?
well, I'm sure wherever he comes from. I thought we talked about this. Like, is he from Germany? I don't know what Arnold Schwarzenegger is. Is he German? He's got to be German.
I have no idea.
I don't know either. We have to figure that out.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is, no shot.
No.
Maybe from far
clearly
away
tell it's
until
him.
you started talking. But there's
He
even
goes
a level
right
of like
up to him and hands him the
That's what,
doll
like-
and says, "Here you go, Jamie."
looking at him, gap in the teeth and all. There's too many
love it,
factors
though.
here.
I love like
And his wife doesn't notice.
his wife doesn't notice. He flies around like 100 feet in the air. He flies through apartment buildings.
Oh my God.
He goes wild with this. This suit is like combat ready. Like
Yeah.
he has all the weapons.
Yep.
There's no way possible
He's
for
shooting,
him
like,
to steer
Chinese
this
stars.
thing. It's just a mess. But I love it.
It's fun.
Like
and you
I
get
said,
to,
it's Christmas. People have zero fucks left to give.
you're
This is
done
what
with this
you know.
year.
This is what you feed them. You feed them Arnold Schwarzenegger as Turbo Man,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy. Like this parade is happening on Christmas Eve in this like really small town. Like it's such an over the top production for what it. But you
Like
know,
a whole jetpack
whatever.
ass suit. Yeah.
can't think too much.
That's not even
about
in the
these things.
Macy's parade.
All right, let's move on to an absolute banger of a movie.
Yes.
If this is not my favorite Christmas movie, it's like tied, or it's
your favorite.
If it's not, it's like tied.
Okay.
Right? This movie, it never gets old. Every single time I watch it, I laugh out loud. It is Christmas. This movie embodies Christmas. It's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Yep. It's from 1989, directed by Jeremiah Chechik.
I also love that it's that year because it feels so nostalgic for us. Like it's an age where we're starting to remember memories of the holidays, and it's happening in that same time frame.
I've seen this movie 40, 50 times at least.
Yeah. You have to watch it. If you don't watch this at Christmas, are you celebrating Christmas?
Yeah, no, Suspect. You have to. And listen, if you've seen it like one time and you're like, I didn't really care for it, I don't watch that one.
You have to
just go watch it again, right? Yes. Just go watch it again. The way that this thing starts immediately should make you laugh. First of all, it opens with a banger of an opening credits sequence, right? The cartoon Santa, with the freaking theme song, right? The Christmas Vacation theme song. As soon as I hear it, I'm like, yes.
You're singing it for like 3 days. I love it.
I love that they just pair it with the cartoon, though. Santa delivering presents to the Griswolds. It's just like, it's amazing. But yeah. This movie kickstarts with him driving his family out to the middle of nowhere. They're singing Christmas carols in the car. The kids are just like rolling their eyes. They want nothing to do with
this. Would be us as parents.
With Clark and his wife Ellen.
Yep.
Singing "Deck the Halls," right? And they're going to pick out a Christmas tree from the wild, essentially. Like, let's go out into the middle of
not a Christmas tree
forest.
Farm. We're going into the boondocks.
No, they're not going to a farm to pick out a tree. Like, he's like, no, we're gonna go like our
forefathers and our ancestors.
Yeah, let's go pick out a tree. And what happens? But they have to hike into the woods first of all, right?
It's like 2 feet of snow.
Audrey's
the
frozen
snow is up
solid.
to their literally her eyelids are frozen shut. It is also the shittiest tree I've ever seen.
The Griswold family Christmas tree.
It's hideous.
I don't know about that. I love Russ. He's like, Dad, this won't even fit in our yard. And he's like, it's not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
He's just so
There's something about Chevy Chase, like the way he's
so good.
Yeah.
He is so good.
So, of course, they don't have
tools.
None. Not a shovel, not a saw, not a chain, nothing.
But this is where the kitschiness of the Chevy Chase comedy comes, right? Like of the extremism of everything, because again, it's not supposed to be so believable. Right. It's supposed to be funny. Yeah, it's supposed to be exaggerated. Mm-hmm. It's exaggerating the act of getting your tree. It's exaggerating the act of what your family is like at the holidays. Like everyone deals with these. He took all of these classic traditions and classic things and just made them into extreme
just
comedy.
Amplified them. So they like uproot the tree instead.
Right.
Which how long would this take with no tools?
So like even if you get past that though,
they're
basically frozen from hypothermia.
Oh yeah.
That tree.
They're in no condition to uproot this tree without
Forget
tools.
uprooting it. Now you got to drag it back through where you came. It's 2
it's
feet
another
of
hike.
snow.
You have to hike back.
Right. And this tree probably weighs hundreds of pounds.
I love it.
Because it is frozen solid from the wet snow that has frozen on its branches.
It's a big ass
and
tree.
It's enormous. And now I'm supposed to believe that they drag it through. You can't think of it this way. We're just being obnoxious.
Oh,
but
no. But
it's hilarious.
It says, this whole opening sequence says so much about the characters without, again, this is the thing I always say is the show don't tell.
Resilience.
Right? This is how you show and don't tell, right?
Yes.
This is how you create a character that you care about right away. Because you're like, this guy's he's so incompetent, but he has so much heart that I can't help but I want to just root for this guy and see where his journey takes him. Because not only did he drive all the way out there with no tools, it's not like he had a pickup truck with nothing he did was thought out. It was just, I know I need a tree. Wouldn't it be great if I just got one from the wild? That's where his thought process stopped. He's like, that's it. I don't need to do anything else. Family, get in the car. We're going. This guy's just fearless. He's like, let's just do it. We'll figure it out. Right? There's no plan. This would be a nightmare for you.
I would be so angry the whole time. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to lie about it. I would be like, this is stupid. This isn't smart. We're not ready for this.
Yes.
This isn't well planned. Mm-hmm. This isn't thought out. I would be losing my mind.
So we do get a little reference to Jason and Leatherface, right? Because he comes out of the garage after they come home. He's like, I got to carve the tree now. It's got to go right in the living room.
Got to carve the tree.
Yeah. So he comes out with the chainsaw and the Jason mask, the ski mask. I love it.
Yep. And that's an iconic line comes from that.
Right, because we meet Todd and Margot for the first time. Margot played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, a young Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yep, and then some no-name that did nothing after.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is, but she, she's amazing. Yeah, he's like, Todd's like, what are you going to do with that tree, Clark? He's like, bend over and I'll show you.
Yeah, iconic.
I wasn't talking to you. I love it. Yeah, but again, like this movie feels like Christmas because of just the sheer chaos of it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's sort of what Christmas is in a way. It's like there's a certain controlled chaos to Christmas.
We've made it so much crazier. That's why, right? Like back to the Jingle All the Way with the capitalism sense that has driven Christmas. But what Christmas Vacation does different is goes more in the chaos of like what it means to just gather your family together and to try to have the perfect holiday that's never perfect. It's never perfect. There's always some shit, right? Yeah. And that's what you then start to see is like the wackadoo cousin that you never hear from shows up and you're like, oh, this fucking guy's here. Like, all right, everybody smile. We got to get some gifts for them.
The joys and the horrors of a big family.
Yes. And then you have the super old family members that are losing their mind, wrapping their cat and shit.
Which is mainly what they're dealing with here. Like everybody that comes over is old people. Their parents come over. As soon as their parents come over, it's chaos. I love the way the director films this scene with the parents coming in the door because it does just go to a whirlwind like really quickly. And all the dialogue feels really chaotic. Yeah, all the dialogue feels really real, like something that like grandparents. And,
they come in, you're at the door, you grab their bags of all the gifts, they have the food that they brought, like all of that stuff is like so nostalgic in my mind, and I'm like, oh, I remember that feeling of like who's at the door now, and like again, I'm being all warm and fuzzy on it, but it is the nostalgia that this movie brings of what it's like, and that part of Christmas I don't think has changed. No,
and I love how this, I don't know really what they mean by calling this movie Christmas Vacation because they're not on vacation.
Well, it is.
But I like that it does span like a good week before Christmas.
They're like it's like a week and a half before Christmas.
It's not that
it was
much.
Like the 16th. Yeah. It's 10 days.
Okay.
9 to 10 days. Yeah. So it's like a week and a half. So this is what I was saying when we were watching it too. It's like it's such a different time because now we're lucky if people can get off for one of those 2 days.
Yeah.
And like back then it was like you had at least the week of Christmas most times. Like my family was all there for multiple days.
It's also because they're coming in from out of town and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like people were really...
You make hay out of it.
Yeah. And either you came like the day before Christmas Eve and stayed through New Year's, or it was like before Christmas and then through Christmas Day kind of thing. So I think that's where the Christmas Vacation comes from, because it's like we're going on vacation for Christmas, even though it's not like going away.
Mm-hmm. It works like well too, because it's like every single day that passes, Clark starts to slip more and more and more into madness because things just start going more and more
everything
and more
he tries
wrong,
to do perfect.
Right? Every single thing that he does, like he meets with an obstacle. It's really good writing because there's nothing comes easy, even though this guy he has his heart so set and his motivation so set on, I'm pedal down, I'm making this the best Christmas my family's ever had. And you would think if somebody's that motivated and in that mindset that they would be able to do a lot better than he does. But no, he staples his sleeve to the house, right? He falls off the roof completely trying to light it.
Can't get those lights to turn on.
The lights don't turn on. Like nothing he does is good. And it just starts to spiral and more. And then Cousin Eddie shows up, right? Randy
Fucking Cousin Eddie, goddammit.
Freaking Randy Quaid. He becomes this character, Cousin Eddie, in real life.
R.I.P.
Right?
Oh, no, not R.I.P.
He's not dead. But he basically becomes Cousin Eddie, like...
Yeah, he's...
in trouble with the law and just be like really not all there.
A little bit of a mess.
Best part of Cousin Eddie, though, and I still don't get over it to this day. It's one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and I feel like people don't pay attention to it. It's because it's kind of subtle what's going on, but it's the whole situation where Cousin Eddie doesn't have presents for his kids, right?
He hasn't been working in 6 years.
Hasn't been working. He's holding out for a manager position.
For 6 years.
So him and Clark are in Walmart,
yeah.
right? And Clark feels like, all right, we're at the store. We're getting some stuff. Maybe this is a good time to bring up the fact that, you know, maybe he doesn't have a lot and he doesn't have presents for his kids. Maybe,
yeah, let me confirm.
Maybe just confirm it so that way I can get ahead of this and make sure that, you know, these kids aren't empty-handed on Christmas.
Yep.
The noble, you know, thing to do. And as they're walking down the aisle and having this conversation, Cousin Eddie just keeps putting piles and piles of dog food into the cart. And as they like pan down the aisle, you can see all the prices of the dog food as
like
he's
scrolling,
putting it in the cart. So you start to inevitably like do the math in your head. Like, did he just spend like $40, $50 on all this dog food? This goes back to what we were saying before. Back then, you could buy toys for like $2, $3.
Yeah, that's like 4 Barbie dolls for your daughter. That's like a bunch of Hot Wheels for your son.
Just take the money you're going to spend on all the dog food and just buy your kids presents.
The dog does not need that much food at that moment.
Oh my God.
At all. But again,
I mean, I love it. It's just such a good, and then obviously the famous line with the shitter was full, like when he's pumping the chemical toilet into the sewer.
the best part is I forget that he doesn't say it once. He says it multiple times to multiple people. Like he just keeps turning around. He's like, shitter's full. Like letting people know, like nobody's asking.
This character would fit right in on that show Shameless that we watch.
Oh my
right?
God.
Cousin Eddie would be a
neighbor.
Great character.
He probably lives there.
He would be a great neighbor on Shameless.
He would be, for sure.
Just every once in a while you see him dumping his chemical toilet. And
They're
Snot the dog is just like running in the yard.
They're just like, what's that smell? It's like
it's Cousin Eddie.
Eddie over there again. He's emptying the shitter.
I always love the scene with Clark in the when he gets stuck in the attic.
Yeah.
Now, again, talk about the incompetence. He doesn't know how to correctly walk in an attic. Like nobody taught him. You walk on the support beams. You don't walk on the sheetrock.
He's like purposely walking on the sheetrock.
Only the sheetrock.
He's like hopscotching it. Like,
so of course
don't touch the beams.
So of course he falls through.
Yes. But then at that point, it's like, okay, there's a hole in your ceiling. You're going to have to patch it anyway. It's going to have to be patched very large. You can't just do just a small spot.
It's fucked.
Just fucking break through and be out.
Yeah, then you're in your house.
Yeah, just it. You're good. Like you already broke it. What the fuck? Just a little bit more and you're out.
That's a good point. Yeah, he should have just broken through. But then we wouldn't get this nice little tender moment of him.
Again, he gets his nostalgia.
Right. He pulls out the old film reels from the attic and the projector he sets up. And
it's those
he's got
moments,
the gloves
right?
on with
the fur coat. It's the moments, and he has like the turban on too, doesn't he? He has like a turban.
Is that what
thing?
that is?
Yeah.
Like,
but it's like that give and take of like, for every Christmas moment, it's a beautiful moment with chaos every time.
Oh, yeah.
The tree is a beautiful moment, but not without the chaos. He gets the film reel and he's watching that, but out of the chaos of locking himself in the fucking attic, you know? And then the tree gets decorated and it's perfect.
The tree gets fucked up multiple times. It goes on fire. Then they have to cut a new tree, and then they bring the squirrel into the house.
Yep.
In which Snot chases the squirrel everywhere. Both of their mothers faint. Right? Clark's mother faints.
A squirrel.
Ellen's mother faints.
Who acts this way with a squirrel?
I don't know. It's kind of weird, but
it's so
it's
weird.
not like you have like a venomous snake in your house.
That's what I'm saying. Like it could have been a more predatory animal, like an owl. Mm-hmm. Like I don't want an owl to fly out in my face. A bird would freak me
out in my house. A bird would freak me. I wouldn't faint.
But like an owl, owls are terrifying.
Well, that brings us to the staircase. Remember that whole
God.
scenario?
That's a whole different show.
That's a whole different show.
Talking about that.
Going back to what you're saying though, you have these beautiful moments and then chaos. It's like
every single
thing turkey dinner, right? They put the turkey out. It looks like the most amazing turkey ever. Like it looks perfect. He barely like touches the knife to it, and it disintegrates like into a dry.
But the best part is that they eat
carcass. Yeah, they do eat it.
That is like, it's not even like they're like, well, I guess we're ordering Chinese.
She's like dipping it in the water.
Yeah.
Every single frame of this movie is hilarious. Like there's not like a dead scene.
I have a question.
Okay.
Would you rather
eat that turkey?
Eat that turkey.
Oh my God.
Or the turkey from Scary Movie.
Turkey. Oh, with the hand guy?
Hand. Yeah. He's banging it. puts his little mole booger on it.
No,
he licks it.
No, I gotta go with the turkey from this turkey, the dry turkey. That guy he fucking puts his dick in that turkey. Like he's all up in that turkey.
Okay, but like
he's covered every inch of it.
That's inside the carcass. Not gonna eat that part. The skin, you just pull the skin back, and then the meat is good. I don't know. It makes sense to me. I would just take that turkey.
Movie.
Yeah, we do have to watch that movie.
We have to watch that movie. We have to do Tarantino. We have to do the scary movie.
That's what I'm
series.
saying. Like talking about this, it's like I want to see all these things now. Like it's hard to go back to just scary movies, but I mean, I love my scary movies. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So, well, the turkey scene, the whole dinner scene is just the gift that keeps on giving. Because we have Aunt Bethany, right? Aunt Bethany is a treasure.
Grace.
Because she just wraps up gifts from her house. Like she wraps up her cat.
The Jell-O mold.
The Jell-O mold. Like with cat food in it.
Yeah.
Right? She's an amazing character.
Oh my God, but that's my favorite scene too, though. One of my favorites is Chevy Chase when he pulls the hat off of her husband and his toupee comes off.
Oh, the toupee comes off.
And it's such trash.
Uncle Lewis.
And he's looking at it like this and he puts it back on. He's just going...
Yeah, he tries to just play it off like nothing happened.
But like his face doing it and the way he's holding his hands, he's like, yeah, that's right. Like I die every time.
Chevy Chase, physical
Oh
comedy.
my God, I just love him.
No, but one of the most famous scenes in this movie is Aunt Bethany when they ask her to say grace and she recites the Pledge of Allegiance instead.
Yeah. Well, no, first she says, Grace died almost
30
years ago.
Speaking of which, this movie is like 30 years old.
It's a little younger than us.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, we're old as shit.
My goodness. I love how Cousin Eddie he gets up and stands and puts his hand.
Yeah, they just like go with it. Like it's so good.
Yeah, no. I mean, every single thing about this movie.
We could literally talk about every
single
scene. We got Bill Murray's brother in here.
Oh yeah, Brian Doyle Murray.
Yeah, I mean,
he looks a lot like Bill in this movie, specifically this movie.
It's also the way they talk. Like when you actually, because we just came off watching Scrooge, and then you watch this, you really see like it almost feels like did they like do a mask to make like Bill Murray look a little different? Like that's almost what it feels like.
It's like Bill Murray in a fat suit,
right? Like or just a prosthetic to like slightly warp his face.
But Brian Doyle Murray has that voice, that gravelly. It's such a recognizable voice that he has.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to another banger. Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Jim Carrey
version. I love how we have to say the Jim Carrey version. Like that's what it's become.
Because there's a lot of Grinch movies.
Yeah,
and
it's not the cartoon.
Frankly, this is the Grinch movie.
Yeah, like as much as the cartoon is iconic and always will be, right? Like the book is what brought this to life.
Yeah.
That's what gave us this amazing character, but nothing beats watching it with Jim Carrey truly bringing the Grinch from the paper to the screen.
It's really mind-blowingly incredible what they did with this fucking makeup.
Yeah, the face is incredible. The fact that it moves with Jim Carrey's incredible facial features.
Well, it's almost as if he is a living, breathing cartoon.
100%. He is. Like the contacts were spot on. The teeth, spot on. Like the body, spot on.
Yeah. Yeah, they even gave him the little pooch belly that he has.
Yeah. And then you take it one step further.
And
the
just
Who
how
Village.
He moves. Oh, the Who Village.
The Who Village people are incredible. Mm-hmm. Like the makeup was just enough in all the right ways. Like they didn't overdo it, in my opinion. Like they really.
Although, who was the one character where you're like, they didn't really even do anything to her? Martha May.
Yeah, that stupid bitch.
Now, why did they just really not do much to her so that she could be like the hot one?
I think so, but I think also like her face kind of looks like that.
She does kind of have a Who face. Yeah. Yeah.
Because then it was what's her name that I'm like, you almost wouldn't even know it was her, but you know from the voice.
Molly Shannon.
Molly Shannon. I was trying to think of her name. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love Molly Shannon. We just watched while we were eating dinner the Sweaty Balls skit. The SNL Sweaty Balls.
Her and Anna Gasteyer, they're very like.
Oh my God.
They're very like straight way of speaking through the whole
those
skit.
Characters
they never break character.
No.
And that is so big. Like you
Alec
look
Baldwin too. He nails the whole cadence of it.
They're just so, and it's hilarious. absolutely hilarious to this
I kind
day.
of feel bad for Molly Shannon because she has a ton of chops. Like
She's great. Superstar.
They put her in so much stuff in such a short period, and I think it was like that Hollywood thing where it's like, oh, she didn't really age where she like looks good anymore, so we're not going to use her type of thing, which bothers me because it's like there's plenty of stuff you could find for Molly Shannon to do.
It's the bullshit of Hollywood that
I know.
like
I hate how they
women
just
can't
stop
get
hiring
older.
talented people because
It's not even just talented; it's talented women. Let's be real. Dudes can go on and on.
Yeah, I
Look
mean,
at
it
Brad
happens to
Pitt.
guys
Look
too,
at Tom Cruise. Look at Mel Gibson. Look at Bruce Willis.
You're naming all men that look amazing still.
Yeah, but that's just the way it goes. Like,
Although
it's easier for dudes
you don't
to age
think
in
Brad
reverse.
Pitt is attractive, and I would have sex with Brad Pitt.
He has a weird, like, it's like a weird bottom lip thing for me.
Oh my God, that guy is. I want to
No,
be that
it's not
guy.
for me. It's not for me. I have other reasons as well, but that's a main one.
So it's directed by Ron Howard. Obviously, he's a legend. And you probably picked one of the best directors you can pick to make this movie. It's so him. It's just
They
so his
clearly
style.
just didn't spare any expense.
No.
They were like, if we're going to make a live action Grinch, it's going to be the most memorable, iconic film that will ever be made for Christmas. And
Yeah.
they really nailed it.
So I think one of the things I give Ron Howard a ton of credit for, and probably the writing crew. I didn't make note of who wrote this for the screenplay, but one of the things they do really well that I don't think is in any other Grinch movies. Correct me if I'm wrong or I'm misremembering, but they go back through the Grinch's origin story, like all the way from being like a baby Grinch
at the adoption,
adorable baby Grinch, and the baby Grinch looks
orphanage.
awesome.
I love baby Grinch.
Yeah.
Even like when he's young Grinch, I guess we'll call him, right?
Yeah, you told me that guy died.
Yeah, he was on this show that me and my sister used to watch called Passions. It was a really bad,
Sounds bad.
really bad soap opera. And me and my like high school friends, it was like the soap opera that was created for young people and to get into soap operas. And so there was this little boy, Timmy. And like he was not even the son or like the sidekick of this woman who was like a witch. And he was in that show and he died. That's how I know he's dead.
All right.
But anyway.
But yeah, I love that because this starts the whole spiral of like why he's the Grinch, right? Because he has this crush on Martha May and he wants to make her this amazing Christmas present. Like he gets into Christmas finally.
Not only does he have a crush, she clearly has a crush on him.
She likes him
because
too.
He's green and she loves Christmas.
Yeah. So he recognizes this and he's like, yeah, I'm going to make her this amazing gift. I'm going to look my best. And he shaves his face to shit. So he's wearing like a paper bag.
Look at that hack job.
Oh my God. So he gets bullied. And like, this is what bullying resorted to for the Grinch, where he's like, fuck this. I'm going to go live in the mountains above Whoville and like build this lair of like garbage and stink where nobody will ever want to be around me and everybody will be afraid of me.
Yeah.
But I love that. I think it really rounds out the Grinch's character.
Yeah. I was saying this when we were watching it of just like how they just portray him living his life telling the story, right? Like the way that he reads his agenda out loud of like, oh, can't cancel that again. Like,
oh, because
he's like, dinner with myself.
Well, I love that they do the thing
cancel
with
again.
Yeah. They do the thing with Cindy Lou, right?
Yeah.
And the way they incorporate her is awesome because like she's always been the soft spot for the Grinch, right? Where it's like you recognize that like even though his heart is really small, he still has a heart in there. So like when he visits the Who Village in the beginning and she gets in trouble with the present shoot, right? She's like going to get sucked into the present shoot. His dog Max kind of pulls him towards it. But you could tell like the Grinch knows like the right thing to do is to pull her out and save her.
Yes.
Right?
Because he has a heart and he fights to keep it small.
He fights hard to keep it small.
But then there's just those things. And it's Martha and Cindy Lou Who.
She invites him to be holiday cheermeister. And he's trying to find every excuse not to go. Like you're saying, like, I can't cancel
That's the
this.
best scene.
Self-loathing.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And just the like, but what will I wear? That's my sister's favorite. This is my sister's favorite movie. Yeah, we would always have to put this on Christmas Day because this is
I love what
her
he does
favorite.
end up wearing because he steals the outfit from the yodeling guy.
The yodeling guy.
And then when they get him down there for the holiday cheermeister, they put the sweater on him that lights up with the holly ring or whatever on his head. It looks like a nightmare to be a holiday cheermeister. I'm not gonna lie. Like he has to eat all this food. He's got to dance
everyone's
around
baked
for
goods,
hours.
Dance. Yeah. Oof.
If this was Whoville, like I gotta say, I'm on the
I'd
Grinch's.
be on the mountain.
Yeah, I'd be on the mountain. I'm
too.
on the Grinch's side. Like you fuckers are crazy.
I mean, I like Christmas a lot.
Not this much.
I don't even think Mariah likes it as much as the Who's like it. Just saying, she technically goes to the mountains in Aspen away from everybody. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's cool. Like I love how throughout the whole movie they sort of tease like as much of a Grinch the Grinch is, he does have kindness in his heart, right?
Yes, we all do. Even the Grinchiest of Grinches at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I also think that they completely nail him stealing Christmas. Like this is like it's not a shot for shot remake of the cartoon, but it feels like one.
Yeah,
you
100%.
know?
Like,
and the narration of Anthony Hopkins in the background, like doing the book while he's stealing Christmas and emphasizing all that stuff, just like the cartoon, amazing.
they kept the best nostalgic parts of what it meant to have the Grinch as a part of your Christmas. Like you were a kid, you read the book, and like it's that grandpa or your dad reading the book to you.
It's timeless.
While you tell the story, and then you get this visual and you get the lines. They bring the rhymes in here and there, you know.
Yeah.
And the visual of Whoville is incredible. I remember actually I was at Universal Studios backlot in California one year, and they had it. They had all the little Whoville houses in person, and it was
my God, that's gotta be fun.
insane. It was so freaking cool.
What do you think of Jim Carrey's version of the Grinch song?
I mean, I remember going, wait, does he really sing this? Like it's you again.
It's definitely him.
He is a master of voices and, you know, just transformations. The way that he can distort his face, his body, his voice is incredible. And he is a gift to all of us.
It's funny, like he doesn't pull too far away from the original vocal too much. Like you can tell that he's referencing it.
Yeah.
But then he goes on these other
He does all
tangents
these
and
different voices.
choices with different voices at different spots that you don't expect.
Inflections and accents.
Yeah.
And it's so when you
And you pair that
really-
with him making the Santa costume and everything.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's also like with you and I and the fact that we listen to music so closely, most people would miss all of that, I think. But like because we have such an ear for like
it's an amazing job.
it really is so good.
Yeah, because most people probably go, oh, they're doing the Grinch thing. But I'm sitting there really analyzing his performance and the choices he made. And I'm going, yeah, this is wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
All right, last one on the list because we're running long here. So
I
we
know.
got to get
We're
through
gonna-
these.
Yeah.
We got, this is the creme de la creme of Christmas movies. This is Elf, right?
This is
This is
my favorite.
This is the shirt. Santa, right?
Santa! I know him!
There's
my
not
favorite.
really a line in this movie that comes out of Buddy the Elf's mouth that isn't memorable and sticks in your brain. Almost every single dialogue that Buddy has is a one-line, quotable, memorable thing.
I'm in a store
And
I'm singing. Or the song that he sings for his dad when they think he's like a Christmas gram.
It's a Christmas gram. I want one.
I want one. He's like, all right, you're gonna sing me a song? He's like, okay, I'm in New York with my dad. Like you could just, again, Will Ferrell, another gift to us.
So we watched, there's that new series
I was
on
gonna say this
Netflix,
too.
The Holiday Films That Made Us.
Yeah, you have to, if you're a fan of these types of movies, you have to watch this.
So we only watched the first episode, but the first episode is about Elf.
Elf, aptly.
And I had no idea how much trouble they had making this film.
And that no one wanted to cast Will Ferrell.
Yeah. So it was written by a complete unknown at the time, David Berenbaum, right? Who
Gets Jon Favreau.
yeah. So he has this script.
Nobody.
He meets with this other like kind of no-name producer who kind of has some contacts in Hollywood. They call around with this script. It's a good script. It starts getting past all the other scripts as like, oh, maybe this is a potential thing. One of the unknown producers that calls this other guy who had produced other things in the past, but like really nothing memorable, but just had money and wanted to do, and kind of knew Will Ferrell or had a connection to Will Ferrell. And he's like, let's get Will Ferrell to be Buddy the Elf. And at the time, I don't remember this, but I guess 2003, Will Ferrell is not a giant movie star at this time. Because now when you think about it, you're like, how is Will Ferrell not a giant movie star?
It's insane.
How would nobody not want him for their... But this was it. He had done Night at the Roxbury and SNL and nothing else. And Night at the Roxbury had tanked. So like, we don't want Will Ferrell.
Even though it's like now
movie.
a cult classic, iconic, like people who...
It's a bad movie. I don't like Night at the Roxbury.
Really? I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I'm not into it. I was, yeah.
What is love?
Yeah, I was never even into the... As far as SNL sketches go, where Will Ferrell is like the king of SNL as far as I'm
Cowbell.
concerned, who has probably the most memorable sketches. Yeah, the cowbell one.
There's one that I will never forget when they're in a store and I think he's selling jeans, and it's him and Jimmy Fallon. And he's like, "Oh, hold on, my phone's ringing." And he takes out a phone that's
the
like
tiny
this
little
big,
phone,
and
yeah.
and Jimmy Fallon can't like
Yeah.
stop laughing.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
Yeah. But as far as those skits go, like Not at the Roxbury was like pretty low on my list of like, this is what you made an SNL
I get it.
original movie out of. But anyway, they cast Will Ferrell. He gets attached to this thing. And then they finally get Jon Favreau, like you're saying. Jon Favreau didn't really direct anything up until this point, right? He had like maybe 1 or 2 movies.
Yeah.
So the fact that this movie all comes together to be what it is, which is like the ultimate Christmas movie. And that's what Favreau sets out to do, right? He says, there's one stipulation I have if I'm gonna make this movie and we're gonna make this movie. This needs to be in everybody's house as a staple Christmas movie for all of time.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they did. And they overshot that because this is probably the Christmas movie, in my opinion.
I mean, I agree. I think like the story of it being this human who learns that he's a human late in life and thinks he's been an elf this entire time. It's unique, it's different, but then they also combine it not only with the North Pole and the vibes of North Pole and all of the classics like the Rudolph setting with the snowman narrator, right? And like all of that, the little puffin and all that.
Not now, Arctic Puffin.
Not now. Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Narwhal. Thanks, Mr. Narwhal.
So, you get this whole merriment of like being at the North Pole with Santa. You get Santa giving
He's
him
too big
the
for
tips.
everything.
Yeah, he's too big for everything. But then they combine it with the ultimate Christmas setting.
New York City?
New York City.
I love how like he floats on that like ice chunk, and then at the end it's like big at first where he's like sitting on it and he's like comfortable, and then by the time it gets to wherever the hell it gets, it's like melted, so it's just like enough for his 2 feet to stand on.
And yet he's traveling thousands and
From the
thousands and
North
thousands
Pole.
of miles from North Pole down to New York, which is basically like through Canada, I guess.
Impossible. I feel like this is a staple of Christmas movies where it's like we have to have something that's completely physically and humanly impossible.
Yeah, you have to have something that's like magical. It's magic. It's the magic of Christmas.
So what was to stop the writer from just going like, you know what? Maybe we'll just have Santa drop him off. Like, why does he have to go on this long journey?
Yeah, why didn't he just take the sled? I guess because Santa can't be seen, like, not at Christmas, but it is
There's
Christmas.
no way to discreetly drop him off, like, I'll drop you off like 50 miles from even walking 50 miles would take forever.
Yeah, I don't know. Drop him off at the airport at least.
Oh my God. But, whatever. I love when he gets to the city, though. All the people that he interacts with were not actors. This was all guerrilla style filming.
Which is incredible because Will Ferrell is that kind of comedy, right? Where you're like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? And so like him grabbing the flyers from outside, those two guys, I just imagine that really happening because if you're a New Yorker, you know. Him doing the spinning in the doors, amazing. Him doing the hopscotch on the walkway and then like a car coming in and going, not completing it, but going back the other way. Like all of these things of like what it would be like to be someone who only knows being in the North Pole and then being in New York City of all places.
Yeah.
You just are laughing the entire time as he does these exploratory things.
They really do nail the fact that this is a human that's never been in human world.
Yeah.
Right? Every single thing that he kind of interacts with is... Will Ferrell does a good job of like, oh, well, I've never seen this thing before,
why would
right?
I know?
Why would I don't know? Like, I don't know that there's... Well, what's funny is Santa does warn him about the gum, but he doesn't care. He still eats the gum.
That's the nastiest part. You're like, no, don't do that. The elevator, because he gets in, he just stands there.
He just presses all the buttons.
And I like the pain that I felt inside of being the person in the elevator who had all those other buttons lit up, like, motherfucker. Yeah. Like, that's not... No New Yorker is happy with that decision.
I mean, I really think that this is a perfect movie. Like, there's nothing about it that I would really change. The cast is incredible. Like James Caan as
They
the
even
dad.
talk about that in that show, right? That he really does get a breaking point with Will Ferrell, where Will Ferrell just doesn't stop nagging him. And so, like, the scene on the stairwell when he's like,
Yeah, when he really freaks
and that
out
he was
is
really
real.
at his wit's end of, like, Will Ferrell was just not letting up.
No, James Caan hits a lot of the right notes in this movie. Like, you could tell that Favreau really directed him to be what ends up being on film. But I mean, down the line, you got Zooey Deschanel as Jovi, and even her, like at the time, she wasn't really a big deal. And like a lot of this is just like, Mary Steenburgen as Emily. I love her as the wife. She's incredible because she has that warm heart.
Yep.
She's the exact right character you need to play off of James Caan's character to like get Buddy into the house and accept him into the family.
Yeah.
Ed Asner as Santa, like fucking yes, like this is a great Santa. Bob Newhart as Papa Elf.
Yeah. And
Holy
then again,
shit.
the effects that they talk about in that behind the scenes show, right? Like how they kept it timeless. Like they didn't go crazy on the effects. They just used camera tricks. And it's so interesting to see because I never thought of it that way. But now I'm like, oh shit, yeah, like now I see that. So they really did a lot to make sure that it didn't get dated, which I think is really important. Like Jingle All the Way, like the effects were really bad.
Very dated.
Really
No,
bad.
Elf is, you don't get any of those
You don't
moments,
get
really.
any of that.
No.
And it's a lot older than I even remembered it to be. We're like at 15 years. So
One of my
crazy.
favorite characters and set pieces in this film is Gimbals and Faison Love as the manager at Gimbals, which was originally in the script written as a female, Wanda.
they must brought in the experts.
You see this? It's a little too good.
Yeah, a little too good.
The code
Someone's
word
gone
is
for my job.
Santa's got a brand new bag.
Yeah. And he's like, 6-inch ribbon curls.
6 inches. I love, whenever like 6 inches comes up in my life, I always say 6 inches, just like Faison
It's
Love.
impossible. You did this?
I don't know. I just love everything about his performance. I love that his character's name is Wanda because they changed it at the last minute because Favreau's like, no, let's just get Faison to do it.
Yeah. And then they're like, no, we'll just leave it as Wanda.
Artie Lang as the mall Santa. You smell like
Artie
beef and cheese. You don't
freaking-
smell like Santa.
You're not Santa. You're an imposter.
I have a complicated history with Artie Lang
Don't tell
at
him
this
what you want. He's
point.
not Santa.
Yeah, no, but I mean, the whole thing is great. One of the best parts of this movie is just how everything culminates and comes together in the end. Every single piece is leading up to the fact that we need to lift our Christmas spirit, right?
Yeah.
As a whole in the world, this is what we need. That's really what it's a commentary about, is like how things have changed since National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, right?
Everyone's fast-paced,
Where life
fast-moving.
was a little more simple. And now it's like things are about like, no, you have pitch meetings on Christmas Eve. Like, what are you talking about?
Like, your boss doesn't care. He's flying
And that's
here.
really the message that the movie's trying to convey is like, let's just fucking take a step back and just simplify our lives again. If not always, I know that life is different now and things always have to progress. But on Christmas, of all things, can't we just be like just simple again?
Right, like,
And just be about the cheer and the merriness of being with family and the Christmas spirit.
Like Christmas, no matter what. Like, I actually was talking to some people at work the other day, and they were laughing at our decorations in the house because every time I'm on a conference call, they see a different room. And most recently, I decided to put a gingerbread on my ceiling looking over the Christmas tree. And so there was one of my friends at work, and she was like, my whole house is Christmas, and I'm not even Catholic or a Christian. I'm Jewish. And she's like, but I don't care. I just like, I
wants
love
the
it. And I
spirit.
love the festivity. And I think, a lot of that is what Christmas has become. Like, when people are so mad that like, it's not about religion anymore. It's because it's not. Like, even when it comes to religion's about family and togetherness and caring for people and even giving people who don't have family that feeling on the holiday. And I
Christmas, you mean?
think Christmas in general, I'm saying, like, but religion too is about that. It's about a community coming together. It's not necessarily about everything else.
And
So,
helping
like,
those who are less fortunate. and things
exactly.
like that, yeah.
And Christmas is the time to do that, no matter what it is that you celebrate or follow. you don't have to be in a specific denomination of religion. You just have to want to be a good person, right? It's about family, bringing people in, friends.
You're really going for the warm and fuzzies.
I am. I just feel like it's important. It's important in 2020.
Well, look, it's been a hard year for everybody,
Exactly.
right? So
I just
don't
love
know.
it. And I think, I hope we've made everyone love it a little bit more too. And maybe you.
Yeah, trying to just add to your festivities, right?
Yes, I'm here to spread cheer.
All right. Well, speaking of which, you've come up with a new segment here to close out this show.
I did.
So this is this or that, right? That's
This
what
or
we're
that.
calling that.
So the difference between this or that and would you rather in the way that I
So
have
wait,
explained
I'm
it.
gonna while you explain this, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go get another drink.
Why?
Just quick. I just want one.
You just want one?
Yeah, go ahead, explain it.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna be right
without
here.
you
This is
here?
the bar right here.
All right. Well, he's going to the bar, everybody. So the difference between would you rather and this or that in my mind is that would you rather is kind of comparing two really bad things that you don't want to do either one. And this or that is like, all right, these are more viable options on both ends. You might want both, but you can only choose one, right? So it's like kind of a naughty or nice take.
Okay.
We already did the naughty. Let's do the nice.
This is the positive spin.
Yeah. Again, all the warm and fuzzies.
All right, so I have two choices. Well, we're both gonna answer, but yeah.
I mean, it's mainly for you to answer because I made them.
This is
but-
sort of like, here's two things. What's your preference?
exactly. If you had to choose, and we're gonna do this in the vein of popular traditions.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one, giving presents or getting presents.
Ah, this is timeless classic.
Yeah.
Conundrum.
I think we're always in this category, like stuck a little bit, but
Yeah, because like I said, it's been a hard year for everybody. We are very fortunate to not have some of these struggles, and we do kind of, we're in a good spot where we can, have the things that we want to have and the things that we need. So the spot that I'm at in life right now is I just want to give. I have enough stuff.
I have so much
I don't
stuff.
need any more stuff.
no.
I want to give. This is like when you were saying we should do a giveaway for the podcast. I was like, fuck yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah, because again, I can buy whatever it is that I want for myself, and I'm grateful that I've been able to work my way up in life to do that. And I still want to shop, but I don't need anything, so
It's
I'd rather
fun to
shop for
give
other people.
presents too.
Yeah. If I'm gonna shop, I like to do it for other peeps.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna go with give.
All right. Well, then the next question becomes: expensive gifts or thoughtful gifts?
I'm gonna sort of go against, I think, what I just went, because I went with like the warm and fuzzy. I'd like the expensive gifts, because a thoughtful gift can be a crappy gift, right?
Like
Because,
that you
like,
feel obligated to keep.
You can get somebody like a customized like coffee mug and like, here's a little inside joke or whatever that we have. Like, this is, isn't this funny? And it's like, yeah, but it's just a shitty coffee mug. Like, I get that it's thoughtful and it means something because it's something between the two of us. But if you're asking like, would I rather have that or like a PlayStation 5? Yeah, I'd rather have the PlayStation 5.
So, I'm in the same boat of expensive,
Okay.
but for a different explanation that like expensive doesn't mean it's not thoughtful.
True.
Because expensive also could mean different things.
But
to
the
different
way that you're
people.
couching this is one gift is like an expensive, frivolous thing.
Yeah.
That really doesn't hold any meaning outside of like, you just want this thing because it's cool and expensive. Versus
Fair.
here's something that like a craft somebody made for you that's like, it's an ornament for your tree that I made.
I love ornaments as gifts. Though.
Yeah. All right. So maybe you're more on the thoughtful side.
No, I'm on the expensive side
Okay.
because I can never find people a gift for the budget that gets set for me.
Gotcha.
Never happens. Okay. This one's tough for you, I'm not gonna lie, but for the sake of the tradition theme.
Mm-hmm.
Black Friday shopping or last minute shopping. So I guess we could say like Christmas Eve shopping.
These are both nightmare.
Yep. They're not a nightmare, but to some people it's a thrill. So that's why it's considered a good one.
Yeah, again, like I have set up my life where I don't, because I know that I don't thrive in chaos. I'm a planner. I'm a routine person. I like my routines. I don't like to be, and I tell you this all the time, my time is worth more than my money.
You say it all
if
the
I
time.
could throw my fucking money at something, I'll just throw money at it.
Work smarter,
I
not
don't-
harder.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder. I don't want to waste time in chaos and stress and nonsense. Like, I just don't want to do it if I can avoid it. But both of these things include stress and nonsense and chaos. There is something, though, about like there's a lesson to be learned in Jingle All the Way. You can't wait for the last minute, because if you do, you're not going to get what you need or what people want. So you have to go with the Black Friday shopping.
100%. You just got to be smart about it. My years of retail experience have taught me to be smart, and I know the times to go on Black Friday to be the most efficient. So the next one, and I know your answer, is online shopping versus store shopping.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of covered this, right? It's online shopping all day. I'll read customer reviews forever. I'll look at 5-star, 4-star ratings only. You know, what's on Prime, what's going to get to me quick.
See, but there's something for me about being in the store, and this is why I choose shopping in store, because there's something about like wandering and not knowing what you're looking for and stumbling upon it. Whereas like, I feel like I spend so much more useless time if I'm online shopping, because I'm like, where else can I look? And like, then I got to think about like, what categories are there? What do I want to look at in those categories? Like, there's something about being surrounded by the items and being able to find what you need. So I'm going in store.
Yeah, I do feel like there's some truth to that, right? I do. It's not like I hate going to stores and shopping. I do enjoy that too.
For yourself.
No, I mean, even this time of year, like, you know, we would have popped into, you know, the mall a couple times. We would have gone to multiple stores just searching. We always do that.
Yeah, it's true.
But we don't now because of COVID, obviously. And
I do most of my store shopping with my sister. Like, that's one of the traditions I think I miss most this year. All right. Decorate post-Thanksgiving or decorate on Christmas Eve. Again, this comes from traditions that you see in all the movies we watched. For some reason.
The decorating on Christmas Eve and getting your tree like last minute like that. No, I don't, again, this is chaos to me. Maybe there's some, I don't know, maybe there's some fun to be had for some people.
I think maybe for people who have smaller Christmases, it's a thing. Like, we're used to a Christmas Eve that's like everybody and your mother.
I like to sit with the tree though in the house. Like, how nice is it? Just especially now with, you know, being stuck in the house so much of the time. Just the ambiance of Christmas and the tree lit.
It's such a vibe.
At night, it's a vibe.
It is. It makes me feel so calm and peaceful, and I just love the whole feeling of it. So like, we are like, you take
living and breathing the season.
Halloween down and Christmas goes up. There's no Thanksgiving like we talked about. We don't do Thanksgiving decorations. It goes straight.
I'm curious to see what the majority feel though on this one.
I know. I think it's an interesting. I'm curious to see how many people do the Christmas Eve tree. And then the next one is Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
Christmas Eve.
It's an Italian thing.
Is it only an Italian thing?
I think so, from like how big our Christmas, I think people obviously celebrate Christmas Eve, but again, it's different traditions. Whereas like for us, you party your face off on Christmas Eve, eat all the food, sleep like a baby, wake up to presents and a big breakfast, and then just be a bum playing with your gifts all day. That is the ultimate Christmas vibe.
Yeah, that's the thing is, you know, Christmas Eve, like you mentioned, it's a party, right? So when that bell goes off and everybody's in the house and the food's being cooked and everybody starts to drink and eat and just laugh, and at that point there's no more Christmas than there'll ever be right now. Like right now, this is the moment where we have the most Christmas in front of us.
Yep.
And with every passing moment we have less and less and less. So Christmas Eve is like, that is the culmination of like, my Christmas spirit is at a 10. Right? Because it's like, we're here, we made it, it's Christmas, everybody's together. This is what we want, right? And this is what we hope that, you know, in today's, you know, world, that people can be safe about it, but people can, you know, find a way to be together for Christmas somehow, somewhere, whether it's on Zoom or whatever the hell. You try to do it because this is, you wait all year for this, right? To just be around everybody and be together.
Yeah.
Christmas Day, like you said, is like, yeah, we're going to open some presents. We're going to eat a big breakfast, but we're going to be in our pajamas all day. We're going to be a bum. Like there's no partying really on Christmas.
I'm so excited for our pajamas this year. It's a fun one. Then wrap early versus wrap late. So again, this is another one that is very common in movies, that people don't wrap gifts until like the night before, which is weird.
No, not in Jingle All the Way. It's nestled, safely under the tree, Ted says.
Yes, which is interesting, but that's a later movie.
I mean, we wrap not that early, maybe a week before Christmas.
I usually I always used to try to do it as I bought things.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense if you're a parent, right, that you would wrap last minute because you don't want to have your kids see any of the presents.
Yeah, but I feel like my family would wrap them in advance so that if someone did stumble on them, you didn't know what they were.
I gotcha. But they're not under the tree. They're hidden somewhere like the attic or something.
Yeah. And again, because of my childhood, we grew up like not every present was from Santa. So
Right. Well, we're at the point where we're all adults and it's nice to have presents under. Again, like we were saying with having the Christmas tree up and having all the decorations up, the ambience of the presents under the tree and the anticipation of the don't open till Christmas.
Right. Like the whole vibe of like, don't shake the gifts. Like, how would you have that if you were waiting until Christmas Eve? That's not fun. So I also just love the look because I'm big on like what my wrapping paper story is.
Yeah.
That's always a big thing. All right. On to the next one. Real tree versus fake tree.
Fake tree.
Always.
Yeah, fake trees, they're low maintenance. Again, the lack of chaos, right? They're low maintenance. They look nice and neat. They're pre-lit, right? You don't have to water them. They don't dry out.
And you can get this fabulous black tree like I have.
Yeah, you can get some. Look, again, you can break tradition and go with something interesting. Like a black tree. Oh, we have two Christmas trees.
I have two. Because I like tradition, but then I like to be Dolores.
Well, yeah. Again, you're putting your personality, your spin on it.
Yeah. Okay. Holiday travel versus holidays at home.
I mean, I am a bad traveler.
You're the worst traveler.
I'm the type of person where it's like, and this happens to me with everything. It could be the most minute traveling. It could be like, we're going to go out to a restaurant and meet up with some friends for dinner. And my initial reaction is like, I got to like put pants on. I got to get dressed for this. Like, and that's like not even traveling. That's just like leaving your house.
Yeah.
But this is the battle that I fight with myself all the time because it's like once I know that once I'm there, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have, once I get there, I'm like, yeah, this is great. I love this. I love seeing my friends. I love spending time with people. I love socializing. But the thought of like getting on a plane during Christmas, like the crazy traffic of Christmas, I've never done that before.
I mean, I've been on flights this season for work, and it was a flipping nightmare.
I'm sure.
I remember like opening a store, and I was trapped in Columbus, Ohio. And all the flights were getting canceled. And they were like, well, we don't know when we'll get you on. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know when? Like, what does that mean? Like, I need to be home. And it was a nightmare. And then that happened to me again in Nashville. I remember. Yeah,
but what you're describing is you're not frantically rushing to get home for the holidays.
I was.
Well, yes. But I'm saying in the this or that. This is about... No. We're going away on,
No, you're saying
a vacation.
Getting stuck in an airport during the holidays. I'm saying I've done that.
Oh, no, I'm not worried about getting stuck. I see you're going to like, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? I can get stuck. I don't even think about that. I don't even get past the fact that I have to pack and actually physically go to the air. Like, that's a nightmare to me. Everything can go perfectly smoothly. Yeah, this is my crazy brain.
Yeah, no, you're insane.
Everything can go perfectly smoothly, and it still sounds like this is a lot of work. Right? But that being said, like I'm definitely a home for the holidays type, but I would like to probably at some point experience like a holiday getaway, I feel like.
I would like it to be like an alternating thing where like 1 year it's that and 1 year it's the traditional because there's parts of me that wants to go to other places that feel Christmas and feel festive. New York doesn't always get snow anymore at this time, and we got lucky this year, but I don't think it'll be here long enough to last. But it would
snow
be
right now.
That's what I'm saying. It's here, but I don't think it's gonna last until Christmas.
All right.
All right. Next and last, holiday music versus holiday movies.
Oh, this is the hardest one.
It is the hardest one.
I mean, obviously, movies are a big part of who we are and what we do. We love movies.
But
me especially. It's one of my passions, which is why I do the thing that I do for a living. But music is my first passion, as you know.
Yeah.
And that ended up being my hobby because, you know, it's harder to do music for money than it is to do movies for money. But especially when it comes to Christmas, I feel like you can't take the music out of it. The music is such a huge part of the season and the spirit of it, right? Because we're talking about Christmas Eve being a party, right?
Yeah.
How is that party going without the music in the background constantly? How do you really ever get into the Christmas mood without it?
No, and that's what I would probably say here too, is like Christmas movies like help with the build up, but at the end of the day, Christmas music is literally a soundtrack to the entire time frame, right? Like it's on, you kind of increase it as you go. Back to your point about like it getting more and more Christmas every day. So to me, it's like the first thing I do after Thanksgiving is I listen to Christmas music, and it's just
that's
like
crazy to me.
a light switch. Well, that's my life, and that's what I do. But that's, you know, that to me is the start of the season. It's the end of the season. I probably listen to it after Christmas for a little while too, because I get sad that it's over. Like I could do without watching Christmas movies and still feel nostalgic as long as I could listen to all of the Christmas music I have. So for me, it's definitely what I would pick there.
I'm very curious to see what people will pick for this.
I know, because sometimes people are annoyed by Christmas music, like especially people who work in retail. Like, I gotta listen to the same 5 songs.
Yeah, you just want to. There's definitely people that just want to get away from it.
Yeah, not me. I'll take it all day. All day.
All right, well that's it. We concluded our podcast. This is the last podcast of the year.
So sad.
So we wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, a very happy and safe and healthy Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
And a Happy New Year as well.
Because that we'll be on a break.
Yeah, we'll be on break.
And hopefully you'll miss us and be excited.
Yeah, well, so we'll figure out, we'll try to keep posting some stuff.
We definitely will. We've got some surprises in store.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it. This has been fun. And we'll come back next year with some stuff. And remember, as much as we love Christmas movies and horror movies and music,
even Elf and the Grinch.
Yeah, as much as we love anything, we don't give awards for art.